You thought the action was over, but it's not, folks. We are back with more in the Chongqing Major CIS Qualifiers. That's right, we've got NoPangolier versus Gambit Esports. Of course, I'm still KillerPigeon and still blowing away his stats, just completely theory crafting the entirety of the in-betweens these series is Nahaz. He's ready to laugh at this techies ban again, I think.
I love it. You know what, though? I would do it. I would absolutely do it. Playing against NoPango with CIS, a guy that has basically theory crafted the entire map, mind placements. Heck yeah, I don't want to see techies. I mean, it's just a hero that you don't want to play against. It adds so much uncertainty to the game, and especially given a patch that I think is going to be a huge death ball meta. Techies is very disruptive, particularly in the early days of what you're going to try to do.
That's a fair point. And the interesting thing for bans this time around is that they focus them almost all on supports, right? So all the big fat goals.
If you are banning against NoPangolier, let me just give me the scouting report. You are banning out supports. I would never ban a core against this team, despite what we just saw them do. I would never ban like they're 3 through 5. They're just so solid. And if you're able to take away what Sioma and CIS can do, you are going to beat NoPangolier.
That's true. These guys have been playing together for a long time. They know each other inside out. And that's actually one of the scariest things I think we see in Dota is when you've got a support duo that know each other so intricately. But
I mean, it's one of those things in American. They always say offense sells tickets, defense wins championships. In Dota, core players sell tickets. Supports 3 through 5 win championships.
Yes. Wow. Okay. That's
I was hoping to cast this hero. So one of the things I will caution to our audience, right? Okay. The fun and the reason why I wanted to cast these qualifiers, I don't do a lot of casting, okay? But I think it's really fun to cast right after these patches come out because we're all sort of figuring things out. And I think it's fun to actually like read chat a little bit and read Reddit and like we're all figuring stuff out together. And anybody that tells you right now that they know what Coddle is going to be is deluded. I think nobody knows what this hero is going to be.
That's true. I know there's a lot of Coddle fans that hate the rework. I can kind of understand certain elements. For example, Mana Leak was one of the most frustrating things in the game to deal with.
I was one of those people that actually liked Mana Leak. It was such a unique ability. So it was so situationally broken. Like that to me, those two words are like Dota in a nutshell. Situationally broken. If everything's OP, nothing is. And that's why I just loved abilities like Blinding Light and like Mana Leak.
Love the fact you say that. It's literally what I say to everyone who goes, that sounds overpowered. It's like, it's Dota, baby. Everything's overpowered.
Well, the funny thing is, right? So I'm relatively played Dota 1 and I never played Han. And if you look at if you listen to some of the old Han players describe Han mechanics, it's like, what? It sounds like the game would be unplayable. But it's the same thing. If you were describing Dota mechanics to somebody that never played Dota, it's just, but it all comes together so beautifully. That's just what makes the game what it is.
Well, that's a fair way of looking at it. The other thing to highlight is we talked about Keep It Light a little bit. Bane got picked, and of course, this hero got a disgusting rework on his people.
I mean, where's my Pyrian Flax when I need him? F that hero, okay? Bane, first of all, I hate status resistance. I said it in the last series. I think it's the worst mechanic introduced in Dota since the XP gold mechanics in 6.82. I think the idea that you have a status resistance increase in Arcane Supremacy and in the new Bane ability that all of a sudden it makes all these spells, including channeled ones, last longer. You know, you see the Reddit gifts of the 18-second Fiend's Grip, and you combine it potentially with the AoE control of something like a Sand King. It's just it's a disgusting hero. Now, the one thing, of course, Bane is not quite as good against BKB carries because Enfeeble the reworked ability no longer pierces BKB. But you do have that Fiend's Grip. But one of the big things that we saw in the last series was that this naive mid PA got online and they had no BKB break. Well, Gambit already have multiple abilities that work against BKB, and they've got a Medusa that is not going to necessarily be afraid of those big PA crits. Much, much better drafting against what NoPangolier is going to bring.
Yeah, this is actually scary for PA because before that pick, okay, not too bad. But the moment you see the Medusa, if you jump in, unless you got an Abyssal, there's going to be an immediate use of the ultimate, and you have to run away, which means you're not getting your attack speed from the Blink Strike anymore. You're done. You just have to run.
Where are you on the Lone Druid rework?
It's intrigued. I haven't seen it too much. I've heard a lot about it.
I kind of like it. I like it on paper because I think what it's kind of doing with the hero is it's saying, all right, you're still going to have a hero that can split push, but we're going to give you these subtle incentives to fight with your bear.
That's true.
And I like that. It makes the hero, it preserves the hero's utility, but it makes him a little bit more powerful when he's fighting with the bear, when he's fighting with his team. Because that was, he got into too many situations before with Lone Druid where the game dragged on, the bear started to feel like paper, and really all the Lone Druid could do and contribute effectively was split push and maybe join engagements and try and KS. And I think this incarnation of Lone Druid is a little bit better balanced with how the tempo of the game is going to be.
All right, 1 sec. I think you've gone a little bit robo. We'll restart the call, see if that fixes it.
All
right.
Spirit.
All right, let's see if you are.
All right.
Yeah, there you
Am
go.
I
You're
good?
clear now. You're good.
Okay, all right. Yeah, that's a Discord problem, but we're on the.
Oh, it's back. It's back.
Oh no, am I a robot again?
Yeah, you're like, it's like not full robot though. It's like towards the end of a word you say. It's really weird.
Oh.
But
Okay.
I
We
would
check
probably
the
clear
mic
up.
settings and stuff on my end.
But like,
Okay,
I
well,
think,
we'll-
I was gonna
If
say,
it doesn't clear up, we can go. We
it's
can
good
use
now.
another.
it looks
Okay,
good now.
all right.
All right, so it's cleaned up. But I think just to go back to Lone Druid, like you're right. I like what they've done. They've kind of given more clear roles. Like before, it was always one was strong and the other wasn't. If that made sense. Like you'd always choose one to be your right click damage, and the other was just kind of left at the side of the road. Whereas now it's kind of this logic of you build your hero as this right click king, and then your bear's more like this kind of tank, or you could go for a right click build, but it's really going to be focused around ratting only.
Yeah, a little bit surprised by the last pick, Nyx
Yeah.
Assassin here, given the lack of just sort of squishy heroes on the side of Gambit Esports, and the lack of one of the things I thought you were going to see in this patch was Nyx Assassin picks that sort of exploit the break. Right? Like I thought you might see Nyx Assassin picked against PA, but now that the Vendetta applies a 4-second break, but there's nobody really on the side of Gambit that breaking them does anything.
That's true. I mean, look at this, though. It's not the worst pick, because typically you pick it up against the Deucer, right? At the same time, Phoenix by Carapace interaction is very hard to not get stunned.
Sure.
And also Ember. That's fire as well. Like, I think most of this aren't squishy, but Ember's the exception. So I feel like this is targeted at the Ember.
Carapace is the key, and I think that we talked about in the last series. Anytime you talk about Phoenix, you want to have a device playing against a Phoenix to disrupt that sort of team fight flow, that combination of spells. And despite Carapace, Phoenix is always going to be trying to get Fire Spirits out to protect the egg, so you're always going to get that Spike Carapace stun onto him to disrupt sort of that spell flow. The Ember, obviously, with the Flame Guard up, he's always going to have to deal with the stun. It's not a bad pick. I question Ghostic's got to get in and out of fights and got to stick on very specific targets to have the kind of impact that we saw from him in the last series. And again, this is kind of what NoPango struggled with yesterday. I believe it was Ghostic Axe, Zayat's ET 2 games in a row, and Ghostic had a couple of really, really difficult games on Axe, and their lineup never really came together.
Fair point. They are at least going to start the lane Nyx versus Ember, which is probably the most favorable one. I have talked to a few players on this, and a lot of them are suspicious that Ember mid might start to die now. Like with the changes of the way the meta's been played, it feels like a very hard hero to run mid anymore.
I think you're right. I think no longer being able to spam your spells, just the way that then again, right? It's always been a matchup dependent hero, and people said you were going to see Ember mid never come back again after Poor Man's Shield got removed. And there are just enough high-level pro players that are good laners on their own right and that are good on this hero that I do think they'll figure it out.
Yeah, there is some merit towards the boost of travel now with the TP on a separate slot, so you can get better value because then you can remnant back, refill bolt.
But that might bring the boots of travel change might bring Merlini back to. I mean, he loves that item.
No, it's a fair point. Like the change, I've experimented with a few heroes. It's actually, any hero becomes a split pusher with that because you have the means to get out, and you have the means to get out.
Well, and it's not just a split pusher. It's that if you're a hero like Ember that can build that item, split push and die. you can split push and still be very aggressive in terms of looking for kills.
All right, fans call.
Oh yeah, the dubstep.
Yeah, Zayat is taking a decent amount of damage actually. That's not effective trading, good sir.
No.
Actually, gonna keep chasing. Brain Snap's off cooldown. No, they can kill him. He's gone.
Yeah, you're dead, buddy.
Yeah, see you later. There we go. Final hit comes out. First blood drawn by Vanscore. That's painful. At least he'll do a little bit of trading, goes to get some damage in return, but not worth it for the first blood.
Yeah, and you talk about, you know, trying to shut down the Ember Spirit in lane, and the big things. One of the big questions always when you're running Ember Spirit somewhere other than mid is he going to be able to function in a duel? And this I hear to share XP, but of course you talk about kills can balance that equation.
That's true, but the problem is how you're going to run Flame Guard in this lane, because there will almost always be enough damage coming out from Nyx to burst through the Flame Guard, I think. Especially with Leech Seed as well. So you maybe get like 2-3 seconds of Flame Guard, then it's gone. So it'll be interesting to see if he actually prioritizes that, or if he just accepts it's unlikely you're going to be able to put many points in it.
Yeah, it's just, you know, with Flame Guard as a mechanic, it always becomes a question of, can Ember get off to that level advantage? Because if he can, all of a sudden Flame Guard feels like God mode. If he's on level parity, especially with a bunch of, you know, magic damage supports, he feels like paper. Because he has one of the worst overall stat games in the game.
True. Well, talking a lot about that lane, but they mistimed that. I think that, like, I don't know. I don't think they needed to actually use the Nightmare follow-up to control Zayats, but
yeah. Nice start for both these heroes mid. This is not like one of the matches that both heroes are going to sort of concede farm to the other. The Medusa have the DD rune, so she's gonna get a bit of the edge going into that critical 3 to 5 minute period.
She also has her inherent advantage just coming out in the Courier now, which is that stick into one pickup against the PA. There's not
actually... may go down here top.
Oh, wow. No, it's getting low. He's just about fine. Zayats is still a slow boy.
Yeah, but Bane just silly tanky.
I mean, the crux here is he's already burned all of his mana. He doesn't actually have any clarity. His man goes, so they're going on half an injury as a result of that. A lot of damage done. Searing Chains comes out. Spike Carapace slow him down, and they'll find the kill.
Yeah, a little bit late there.
Well, it's also the case like Vanscore couldn't do anything, because we were just saying about that mana issue. He's now got clarity coming out, but I feel like he should have started at least one clarity, because you're seeing the result of not doing so.
Yeah, that's one of those, you know, being aggressive with the Brain Sap early on was great because it did get you the first blood, but now as a result, you know, you got to think about that regen. It's really something you have to anticipate, especially at this level of play.
It is. As a result, I feel like this type of lane, if Nyx gets a little bit of a lead, like you're saying Ember's weaker in these sort of scenarios, I think their combo on the side of NoPangolier is also super strong if they're just one level ahead.
Oh, it is almost universally true of an Ember Spirit that if he's a level behind, he's just going to feed. He is a hero that it's kind of like Invoker, more so in the past, but also now that he needs to be a level or two up to be effective. And Vanscore is going to be playing with fire again, but the raw tankiness of that Bane.
It'll keep him alive, but he's barely alive. And the crux of this is you're against that Nyx, who also has a lot of natural regen. So you can only target Zayats, and that means you're subjecting yourself to potentially taking 100 damage per hit.
Yeah, I do like the play of the aggressive dual lane down here by the Dire. They are able to contest that right side camp in the Radiant jungle, not letting that sort of free farm start. Yeah, they're going to get pushed back toward their own tower, but that's okay. They get the creeps, and they're coming right back to the wave.
So I just done the maths on that, and to walk from his tower to the tier 2 probably took him about, I think it's around 15 seconds for Vanscore to do that.
Yep.
And this has been a bit of a discussion, is people who choose to still just deny themselves to a camp versus make that walk. Because one, it's risky, and two, if you actually map it out, you haven't got much difference between denying yourself to a tower and denying yourself to neutrals in terms of spawn time and time it takes to do it.
Alpha Ninja may be in some trouble here.
He can't
He's
be quick enough,
active, but
well, doesn't matter. He'll get the salve out, just gets far enough away, turns around. What? Alpha Ninja, no! He misses a sleight of fist of the Searing Chains. As a result, he's going to go down.
Way over. I mean, you do not need that. Like, these early kills are so low value, particularly when you're talking about. And it's just, in terms of risk reward, that is just not the EV play there.
I mean, he wouldn't even got the kills. That's had enough health. That was bad math to begin with from Alpha Ninja, and bad choices after. That was I mean, the deception of strength heroes, I guess you could argue, but still, at this level of play, that's not a mistake you expect to see from someone like Alpha Ninja.
Oh, man, and look at this PA in the mid lane. I thought that DD rune would be enough to make the dots at Medusa, you know, at least competitive in this lane, but Naive is 32 and 14 at, oh my goodness.
Actually scary. The double Wraith ban a lot more effective on PA than on Medusa. Like you said, with the chance to miss, it's pretty frustrating. And you kind of, it's kind of this weird situation where you want to get value out of that one, but if you keep throwing snakes at PA, it doesn't actually have any mana for the daggers, so you're never really getting these one charges.
And we talked about Medusa being a hero that could sustain the PA jumps and crits, but if all of a sudden, if PA gets this Deso up before Medusa has a lot of progress toward her first big stat item, that's no longer true. She still is susceptible to the PA physical damage. A little bit of a wraparound here at Temp by Vanscore. He's going to spot the DD rune for his Medusa.
Question is if they can do something. Like, the lane is not pushing out at all, so Naive is pretty deep, and look at this. Slayer knows there's a Bane missing from the map, so he's lingering around mid. Also, the danger actually of the double dagger. You could actually even argue for like Phantom Strike twice because of the.
Oh, they saw the word placement there too.
No value gain.
It immediately.
So the quiet lane so far has been that bot lane. Nothing has really happened here at all. It's just been Lone Druid and a Sand King staring at each other as they farm, more or less.
Which I think is fine again because you know you're fine with trading in that lane as long as the free farming the jungle, which he hasn't been. They've been very aggressive. They've understood the importance of contesting the side camp, and it's largely been the dire creeps pulled over to that side camp. So I think both teams are fine with that.
CIS is in trouble. Fairy Fire's up, turns around to a Bane fan score. He bit off more than he can chew.
Oh,
yeah, that is painful.
He's only level 4.
This poor little Bane fan scores pretty fast. Is he fast enough? He actually can't get close enough. Ghost Stick has got the Impale coming off cooldown. There it is. Gets the kill.
There you go.
He made him work for a little bit low. That's a little bit of space for Alpha Ninja to get some solo XP at least. Which he won't say no to at this stage. He actually does have a level advantage now.
Yeah, which is just absolutely huge against this enemy lineup.
We were saying
against a PA. I mean, if you get cracked, you're just gonna die.
Like you were saying, it was important to get that XP advantage. It looks like that was identified by Vanscore as he just stayed far, far away. In fact, he's not even going back to the top. He's going to linger around the mid, try and help out a little bit.
I'm actually curious how he's going to build this. I think he actually has to go for early BKB in this game because remember, BKB now stops the bear route too.
That is true. You can still go for the Yules. It's not a terrible choice. You can still throw out the spirits.
Okay.
It's more cost effective. Like BKB, the problem I think with going BKB is you're basically full in command. Like if you're BKB carrier Ember, you're that type of hero that goes deep fast. But you're against a PA, right? And the right clicks of the Lone Druid are still going to hurt as well. It's risky. It could work.
Yeah, the problem. Yeah, I like the Yules build a little bit more because you're the team that has the better AoE fight. So the problem with going Yules, if you are against like a Sand King, Phoenix, you know, Medusa kind of combo, is you Yules yourself and they just get that big old wombo combo on top of you. But when you're the one that's just buying yourself a couple of seconds for your team to set up on you, that's a lot better. I don't think Ember's going to die here, but they are good damage and at least threaten him.
Yeah.
It's good to get him back off that wave. Also,
the Flame Guard was expended. That's a lot of mana, and I think that's the most important thing. When you play Ember, it's not as much about damage exchange. It's actually the mana exchange that matters more. Phoenix.
Okay.
That's a kill that shouldn't be happening, but roots can make magical things happen.
Well, and it's just again, they've been so aggressive contesting that side camp that, yeah, you all of a sudden get that Lone Druid Bear leveled up a little bit, you get the root online, and you have to play just a little bit more cautiously, make that adjustment.
Looks like they are eyeing up Vanscore, but these TPs coming in. Zayat,
yeah, you can't do this. You can't do this. Yeah.
HP down sentry. They know.
Oh.
Uh-oh. Nightmare comes out. That hack will get on top of it. They just brain staff him down and finish him off.
It's fine. It's when you're playing Trant the way Trant, right? You're getting a lot of scouting information. You're gonna give up those solo kills as long as those solo kills don't turn into 2 or 3 heroes. Yeah, that's okay. You did force 3 heroes top.
That's true. They were going for the shrine though, so for them that's just a bonus on top of what their objective was. I think the thing to focus on here is going to be the Sand King. He isn't going for a Blink Rush. We don't. It's interesting that a lot of off lanes, we don't see them focus on a Blink Rush anymore. It's weird to see that Sand King feels that way as well. Bane? All right.
Yeah.
I don't understand his positioning. He can't. He has to be far behind the creep waves at all times now. Like, you're up against a level 6 Treant. You show for a second, you're probably dead.
I mean, I think, yeah, that's obviously correct. I mean, I think in a different game, when you didn't have the Treant on the board, what you're thinking there is, okay, it's all right for me to eat a death if I can get a couple of creep waves versus XP and get closer to my level 6. But, you know, because the Treant's on the board, you're not stuck at level 4 on this Bane, and yeah.
They put their sentry down. They see Zayat. They're going to have to move fast before he D-wards them. Instead, they D-ward him. Impale coming through. Phoenix taking a lot of damage. Does have the egg. Doesn't want to commit it. Can die through. There's the overgrowth being used. He actually pops the egg. That's an interesting choice. Alpha Ninja can still get the skill, though. Does he want a Remnant in? That's the question. No. He doesn't trust it. Not against Ghost Stick with the Spike Carapace available.
No, because at that moment, they were missing some vision. It's very, very easy for a TP rotation to come in from Kull and even the Lone Druid at that point. And as Alpha Ninja, you've reached a point in the game where you really do not want to die.
Yeah, I'm still questioning that egg commitment. I know what he's worried about. It's just like an Impale coming out from the Nyx. But
I mean, again, it's not like don't ever worry about wasting level 1 egg, right? It's not level 1 egg is something that you're only going to use in a team fight in the most favorable of circumstances, or when you're expecting to die anyway. So it's one of those things that until egg gets to level 2, you don't really have to worry about, oh god, I just wasted my ultimate, my hero does nothing.
All right, smoke rotation. This is what we like to see from my Embers. It's not this hero you just want to sit in a lane and farm. You want to use him to leverage an advantage in your other lanes, especially when he has a rough start like he did.
It's a nice idea and nice rotation coming out here from the Dire side, but you know, it's just kind of bad luck that the naive PA has already anticipated this. She's already sort of moved over toward the left side. She might...
Oh no! The hack, he actually used a TP as well. He's out of mana. He's going to try and get some back, but it won't matter. They're going to push him back, and he has no assistance in time. Nightmare's going to be there, but it won't matter. Final tap comes out from Ghost Stick and Van Score. They're going to chase for him as well. Now that he sees the Nightmare, they don't care. Impale, there's the damage. Naive just trying to finish this off. No crits needed.
That is so... The timing there is so unfortunate, right? And Medusa's playing up a little bit in lane because he knows he has the smoke rotation potentially coming in behind him. They gave up on that, though. And now you get it. Oh, man.
Yeah, bot, there's more kills. The root's coming out to Ember as well. He actually has no remnants left. He needs to be careful. Sealer's just going to kite him out and finish him off.
And he's going to die in the...
Oh, this is painful in the mid lane.
Oh, my God.
This dive everywhere.
This just spiraled out of control, right? Well...
We said about NoPangolier.
I mean, at what point do we start talking about banning this naive PA?
It's not just about the PA, though. Like, that caused frustration, but you have to give credit to CIS Treant, especially. Like, this man is... I don't think it's even a stretch to say he's probably, on average, the best performing Treant in the world at the moment. Like, this is his hero.
I stand by my comment that I made before the first series. I think he is one of the better... He's one of the best decision-making four-position players in the world right now. And by that, I don't just mean... engagements and what he does in the fights. I mean, where he chooses to be on the map, the information that he gains for his team. And it's not just on the Treant that he's able to do this.
That's true. But it's definitely a hero that benefits from a lot. Invis heroes, big advantage to them is definitely that they can go deeper and look for things that other people can't safely.
Yep.
Especially at this stage in the game. You get later in the game, you maybe get GPM talent, like a little bit gold. King R, he can't escape. Enjoy Ignis. That should be a tough.
They don't have the reveal. They can't even get the rebuttal kill onto Ghost Stick at the top lane. Oh, yeah.
But it's like the thing to highlight was basically with these type of invis heroes, it is that ability to go deeper with less risk. And honestly, that's what you want to support. It's like we don't really see many naturally invis heroes play this core anymore as a result. Like you used to see, I think for a while people trying to make Treant offlane work was the hilarious one with Media Hammer rushes.
Honestly, with that possibility went away with this minute sentry ward change. Like you're just not, you know, we talked about this in the last series. Creep these sentry wards, creeping onto the enemy side of the map. It just makes invis cores unplayable.
And that's kind of the thing. Like as you at this stage of the game, there's a lot of freedom for Treant. In about 10 minutes time, the whole area is just going to be laced with sentry. So he has to maximize his usage at this time.
look, I mean, look at this, by the way, that Ninja has the first item travel queued up on this Ember Spirit. I mean, what is he going to do with first item bots in this game?
He might die if the root comes out. There it is. He doesn't actually have escape plan right now. The fear.
Boy.
Why didn't he use a Remnant? Finally, that is way too close for comfort.
Yeah, I had panned my camera away because I just assumed he was going to walk back.
Mid lane? All right. Silence gets punished.
And that's fine. I mean, you make them, you're a treant, you've been roaming around the enemy side of the map for the entire game, and you make them use a Fiend's Grip to kill you with 3 heroes. Like, you're delighted about that. You're dying with a smile on your face there if you're Zayas.
True. Trying to push on the tier 1. Fan score. Oh my god, the damage. Ghostic moving in. The break's going to be on the hack. Can't dodge the impale. Now the Burrow Strike through the turnaround. The X is going to be dropped. Ghostic needs to move away. Spike Carapace to cover his escape. Ninja barely escaping Naive, who is low himself, but they can't actually get close enough. They're going to dive forward. Look at the opportunity of the Fire Spirits. Actually use the Sun Ray through. Blink away. Naive is going to be close. He's going to take out. Yes, he's just about gone. And the Ignis controlling up Phoenix means he's going to go down instead. Alongside the PA kill that was just 5 HP away from living. Lone Druid in trouble.
They did not expect the re-engagement.
He didn't indeed. And Sela, he's in a lot of trouble. He can't run this off. Brain Tap, one more tap. That's all they need. They'll find it. As he explodes the Caustic Finale. Turn around. Impale coming out. Medusa, she's got no mana left. She's got no plan. She can't move as the root holds her in place and she falls. Burrow Strike can return instantly to kill the Coddle. And now Aki, he needs to make an escape. But Ninja's back in. Means they can turn around on Zayax, who cannot get out of this quick enough. And the burn means he can't go in with either. The dodge, the Impale misses due to the Remnant. They're going to keep on going. Will they get him is the question. He's going to reach the trees. Zayax is going to live.
That was very strange. Naive played that as if he didn't expect the re-engagement from the Phoenix. And you're going to give away...
Oh, no, the Nightmare! The Overgrowth coming out. He can't move away. The turnaround again. Sand King trying to make his escape. The dust reveal. They're going to chase on for the Bane kill and turn around to finish off Old Aki as well, who is just trapped in the tree line. But Burrow strikes away. There's the blink forward. Can he get it? Yes, he can. Naive with a triple kill turnaround. We thought that action was over so much.
I mean, where is AC when you need him? Because there are a lot of welcome overstayed. First, the PA in that last fight, not expecting the re-engagement from the King R Phoenix. He gets Fire Spirited and dies. But then, you know, Gambit as a whole just are sitting deep in that Radiant side territory, not ready for the PA to come back into the fight. Oh, yeah.
I mean, that was 3 times.
That's a huge net win. That's her Deso again.
It is. That was 3 different occasions. We were like, okay, this fight's over. This is where they stop. And both teams back and forth just getting a little bit too greedy there.
Well, and it's important at the end of the day, you've now got a PA with an 18-minute Deso triple Wraith Band, and she's 1.5k BKB. I mean, it's just so much earlier than you're ready to deal with this. And I mean, you've got a PA that is on the verge of is halfway through having 2 of her major items, and you've got an Ember Spirit that doesn't have his bots yet. And that's still what he's got. I have to believe that he's got to make that switch to Eul's.
I mean, he should learn from the last
I don't see what bots first Ember is going to do.
It's too late for it. You're almost 20 minutes in at the stage. You know, it's not like Tinker who can justify it because he's going to recover by farming the lanes. Instead, oh my god, Naive!
Yeah.
2 hits. Doesn't need more. Soon he'll only need 1. Meanwhile, bot. Zayax trying to fight up against his him. Nice ult coming out. Ignis is controlling him. Now the gaze coming through. They'll finally get rid of the Ignis. They'll clean up Coddle. But they can't get Zayax. And Naive just arrives, comes in. Dahak taking a lot of damage, can't move away. Clean up. Epicenter through. Connected on a Lone Druid. But no, he's speared away. He can't do the damage. Nightmare's going to come out of Naive. It'll hold him in place for a second before the final Epicenter proc brings him away. And Zayax, left alone against the Phoenix head that he does not want any part of, but has no choice but to eat it.
Yeah.
Lone Druid going back in. They're looking for an opportunity.
No, not big boy Naive here on the back lines.
And Ghostic arrives as well. Half HP. This is PA's story, and she decides the ending. Burrow Strike away. Won't matter. Another dagger coming through. The Bears slowing him down. Root's going to be there, which means the Invis, they see everything. Anything more? Anyone more?
Oh, Lord.
They have no answer. They have no answer to this PA right now.
No, they have no answer, and you're not going to have it. The item build. Deuce has made the adjustment going into a more early game focused build with the double Wraith Band, Dragonlance, and Maelstrom. But your Ember Spirit just, I mean, what is he going to do?
Pray that the crits are not on the side of PA, like last time he found her.
if your read in this game, I mean, well, he did. He just bought the bots. If your read in this game as Ember is okay, guys, let me get my bots up and I'll split push and you guys can make space for me and farm. I got news for you. You're not taking 4v5s.
You're against a Nyx as well. Like, that's the other thing. You can't do these split pushes because if Nyx is just near you, Spike Carapace
he can catch you. Well, I mean, they got two. This is where the power strat really kicks in, because you got these two invis heroes that can find anybody attempting to split push, or in this case, just as a Phoenix, just trying to go up to the wave, get some XP. You know, the Phoenix is trying to get his level. That's not like the worst death in the world. People are going, oh, the Phoenix is feeding. No, he's not. He's like, look at how close the Phoenix is to level 12. He's like, oh, one creep and I've got my level 2A. Well, sorry.
Instead of have to do a little bit of light reading with the book, he did go for a Midas as well. So it feels like Gambit identifying how late they really have to go. I mean, they picked a Deucer. They were kind of already imagining this would go pretty late.
Well, I think it's, again, the Midas is a decent read from the game, because he's saying, okay, look, we have to have something to deal with this PA. And one of the big things is getting a good egg off in the team fight. If I can get to level 3 egg reasonably early, that's one of the few good options that we have to fully control this BKB PA.
Problems in the Roche bit as PA decides he wants a second life. He has the BKB now as well. This is... You have to dodge him. You actually can't fight into him the length, but he's going to force you to. Nightmare comes down to Nyx. They see him. But it doesn't matter. Oh my god, the crit! One hit, no Fiend's Grip for you. A TP out by the Hack. The Overgrowth not on point, but the Impale will be, and it looks like the Hack's going to go down as well.
No respect for human life. Oh my god.
Don't blink, you might miss it, because there's another kill happening. Old Aki just trying to escape. Can Akulich get out? This is the question. He's going to go for the TP. They have no way of stopping him. Oh, they do. They get the ruin time, Cyan. It looked like this swing was going to be a tiny bit too slow, but... Didn't care.
I mean... All right, I think it's time to let the techies through and ban the PA. My God. I mean, 11-1-1 at 2 minutes. Naive just casually destroying the game. By the way, you know, almost halfway to the Abyssal Blade.
Let's not also forget that Lone Druid this whole time is just doing whatever he wants and beating the crap out of Tars. And making sure that Paulo Alpha Ninja can't do that himself.
Well, again, it's just that this is what you have to do now that you've chosen Boots of Travel build. But the minute you catch a sniff of an enemy hero, you
like
better. Oh my god! Well, yeah.
See you later, Phoenix. Oh no, he dodged out the brain sap. No, the Hack is going from Naive. It is party time in the PA land. BKB coming out, looking for it. The Hack getting low. They can't save him. Instead, Olakiewicz needs to leave. The crits. If he gets crit once more, it doesn't matter. He will, and the GG will come out.
He doesn't even need a crit to kill the Medusa. He's just like, whatever. I'm just going to chase you.
Question is, does he get himself the rampage? Are they trying to stop the rampage or something? What's going on here?
Everybody DCs. Unfortunately, that doesn't... He deserves it, man. That's legit. I don't care what the game says. That's a legit rampage right there. Oh my god. Good god. That performance coming out from Naive. I mean... 16-1-1 in a 23-minute game.
In fairness, it wasn't just on how well he done. It also did come down to how poorly Alpha Ninja done. Like, them shutting that top lane down was huge. This is very true, but at some point, right, you know, you can talk about how well Scottie Pippen and Dennis Rodman are playing, but at some point, the game's getting to a point and Michael Jordan is just destroying you, and you have to do something about that, right? All of NoPangolier, these three victories that we've just seen have not been all about the Naive PA, okay? Zayats has probably done at least as much on an individual level, but at the end of the day, you have to look at this and you can't overthink it. You have to say the game is getting to a point where we have no answer to this Phantom Assassin. We have to address that before we go any further. And that's kind of the thing, you know, like, I think the big highlight, it's arguable whether it would have made a huge difference at that stage, because that game was so deep in the doo-doo for the side of Team Gambit. But the Boots of Travel was just, it essentially said everything it had to. You had to pivot away from that. I think that, in retrospect, I think maybe the Ember Spirit pick during the draft was just an unconditional mistake, because obviously NoPango come right back with the next Assassin, and you have so many control options there. But certainly, at the very least, something's got to trigger, and you've got to say, look, we've got this lone druid that doesn't need to get kills to have this game impact. He's going to be able to bring a tremendous amount of map pressure, and they are going to have the ability to force fights. They can fight 4v5. We cannot.
with our Wombo Combo reliance, we have to have a Yules. We have to have something on that Ember Spirit that's going to allow him to contribute.
Well, as a result of that, NoPangolier are hot and on fire. Ironically enough, considering Gambit are the ones with the fire heroes. But best of threes, game 1, NoPangolier. Game 2 could be a whole different ballpark. We'll find out like 5-10 minutes time, guys. So stay tuned. We'll be back with game 2 between NoPangolier and Gambit Esports.